Ready?
I'm ready.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Leggari, everyone. I'm Tyler. I have Lilia here.
Hey guys.
Well, what she's going to be doing is she wanted to make a wall art board for her room. So we cut her out a, what do we got? 5x2 here?
Yes, 5 by 2.
5 foot by 2, MDF 1/2 inch, and then we also rounded the edges. So we took away that square edge. You never want to coat over just a square edge. So we've already routed that, sanded it, cleaned it. We got the board level. It's basically ready to apply our WB primer. So Lily is going to apply the WB primer using a 3/8 snap roller. It's been de-shedded, and then we have our primer already mixed up right here. So what she's gonna do, you guys can use roller trays, but something like this, there's no point in wasting a roller tray. So she's gonna pour a bead just down the middle, and then she's gonna just start cross-rolling that. She can add some, right? You don't really wanna have to clean it up, so start with less, you can always add more. All right, so she's got a bead poured out, and then she's just gonna start rolling this stuff around. So the wood's obviously really porous, so it's gonna soak up a lot of that primer. Now what I would do is I would just take, we can kind of use it like a squeegee, get some of that down here, and then just start cross-rolling it. I feel like I'm watching myself do it. So it's good. She did the top. Once the top's done, then you hit your edges. And notice there's not really thick piles or thick roller edges out there, so this is perfect. So you can see how you got like thick edges from rolling the sides, so we want to roll those out. Get rid of those thick edges, yep, just like that. So a couple cool things about our primers, it's a fast cure, water-based primer, doesn't smell, and it chemically bonds to smooth surfaces. So like formica, granite, tile, this stuff will bond to the surface like crazy, and then it's a fast cure. So we'll be able to put a fan on this and apply our epoxy within 15-20 minutes from the airflow. If you don't have airflow on it, it could take anywhere from a half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, but it is fast cure. You get a little airflow, it's gonna dry really fast. So we'll get a fan on this, we'll get the resin mixed up, and then we'll show you guys a dirty pour. All right, so the next step, primer's dry. It's not completely dry, but it's still tacky. It's sticky, it's not pulling off the board. That's the benefit of our primers, right? We can tape onto it when it's still tacky. We don't have to let it completely dry like a lot of paints and stuff out there. So our next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a black Sharpie, and we're barely gonna be able to see it, but it's good enough to see, and we're gonna kind of map out a design to where we know where to follow when we pour the beads out, when Lilia pours the beads. So I'll kind of start it. And again, the more jaggedy pattern you get, the cooler it's gonna look. Right? And this is just kind of for her to follow as she's pouring out. So just kind of mark them up. And you don't have to follow this perfect either. It just kind of gives you a guide.
Yeah. Just trying to figure out what we want to do here.
I think you should just wing it.
Yeah, I'll probably will, but these lines look kind of nice. Okay.
You know, it's always good to throw a little half circle in there, right? Everything's kind of...
Yeah.
Do a little couple half circles out here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously black Sharpie on black primer is gonna be a little hard to see, but if you get it at the right angle, we can see the actual pattern pretty easily. So the next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna tape it off. She's gonna push it down. Now when you're taping off for the dirty pour techniques on MDF boards, skinny boards that aren't really thick like the counter edges, you want to push that underneath and seal it underneath the board, and that'll eliminate a lot of the bleed marks. If you just tape onto the face and press it down, the resin's going to bleed right through the tape. It's not going to hold it down. So So I'm gonna leave enough for her to push under the bottom of the board. And then obviously we want it high enough to hold the resin back. So guys, I'm running another layer. We like to do 2 layers of tape. Biggest thing is you really want to press this down good. Last thing we want is the resin to start flowing under the tape and messing the design up in the top. And then we always crease our edges, our corners in. Creates a little more tension. All right, I'll grab some gloves and we'll get to it. All right, we got our resin mixed up. We got our white epoxy here. We got our black metallics, a little gold spray paint sprayed into the cup, and then we got our silver here. So these are gonna be the colors. So white, majority of it's gonna be white, black, silver, and then we're gonna pour a little of this gold metallic spray paint in for some added effects. So what we'll do first is we're gonna get 6 cups, because the more pours that Lilia can do, the tighter vein she can get, right? If we fill these cups all the way up and you go to pour out, you're gonna pour a lot out. We want those smaller veins, and more of them is gonna create a really cool look. So I'm gonna give her 6 cups to pour out of. And then we're also gonna have her pour just some white out by itself. So there's some spots that are just pure white. Because anytime you do other colors into white, it'll kind of mix in there a little bit even when you're dumping them out. So she wants some solid white spots, so that's how we're gonna do that. So we'll leave a little white in the bucket, and then we're just gonna start dumping these out kind of randomly. We'll do a couple, maybe 4 of them with white on the bottom. And this is already mixed, so it doesn't matter if it's dripping on the board. And then you can add some silver into some of those. So you can add maybe a silver into that. I'll add some black into here. Perfect. And then just come through and pour with me. So I'll pour this in there and you pour that one. And we're gonna try to get these as about the same amount in all of them, as close to as we can. Now the gold, we just take a rag, spray can sprayed into the cup to get this gold liquid. It goes a really long way, so I'm just gonna add a little, and it'll wind up just coming to the top anyways. But I want it to kind of start setting up so it leaves almost like some gold leaves. You can really do these however, right? As long as you like the colors, it's gonna turn out really cool. So watch, when I pour into this, you'll see that it's almost like crusted over. Can you see down in there? See how it's like crinkled it almost? It's already kind of setting up, just like we anticipated. All right, so these are all the dirty pour cups she has to pour out, basically. Gonna be really, really cool. All right, so we're ready to pour. We have our kind of designs mapped out, and so we'll get all these off the table. And you can, which one do you want to start with?
We'll start with this one. We'll start off
Follow
in this
one
corner,
of your patterns,
right
yep.
here.
And try to do smaller beads, and we can always add more to it.
Okay.
Wow, that's gorgeous. Look at this. Look at that. All right, so now that you've started on this side, maybe start in that corner, right? With another one. You freaking killed this pour right here. This
Do you
right
like
here,
it?
oh my gosh.
It's beautiful.
I
Hey
kind of
guys,
feel like you
just
should be
watch the
doing videos.
Just watch the videos.
This is going to wind up leveling out and touching, right? So we don't necessarily need to pour any here, right? We'll let that level
So
out.
maybe like
so try to
here?
pour a little bit of ways away from the bead, because again, this still is going to level a lot. So obviously we need some here, a little here. You could almost do like a half circle here, right? To just break up some of the designs.
Okay.
And then now you kind of know the colors that's coming out. So I'd maybe get some of this over
Somewhere else,
here,
yeah.
right? And maybe over in that corner. And then again, after this one, we can use just the pure white,
The white,
and start
yeah.
dumping some of that out too. So I would just pinch this, kind of like that, and then just go.
Just start filling these big
Yeah,
gaps
just start filling it in. Yeah, maybe get a little right here. I would get some out in this guy. Just kind of all over randomly throughout the board. All right, you got a lot of dirty pour cups left. So these got the white, these should be majority white.
Do we need
And you
to
got
start?
some gold leaf, 24 karat gold leaf in the top there that's gonna show up.
So just start pouring randomly, I guess?
Yeah,
in
but obviously, right, you don't need any out here.
Yeah.
When you pour into these, try to pour in the middle,
Okay.
and then we come back and it'll level out and then we just add some final touches, right? So now you don't need more resin, but what we can do is you can start following these actual veins, right? Like you could pour a bead all along this, right, and just bring it in somewhere. So guys, notice how like the tape's pushed back because there's resin, so much resin, and there's not a big edge to hold, but it's not bleeding and dripping through because we pushed that underneath the actual board. So it's still gonna hold the resin in there and not let it completely move and mess up the design. What do you think?
I like it.
You wanna add any more? Any like white accent veins, or do you want any more gold?
I think
Because we can add,
more gold.
You can add gold, just get it in your finger. Dip your finger in there and then just run it through some spots, right? To get that gold out there.
Yeah, I think I want some over here.
So just dip your finger in there and put it where you want it. Just try to follow it, yep. And just keep blending that in. If you have too much there or you want to kind of dissipate it more. Like, yeah, run the whole vein. Keep it going. There you go. Nice.
I think I might be satisfied with this gold.
Yeah, I think you did great. So guys, this is Lilia's first time doing a dirty pour technique. That's how simple this process is using Leggari products. Super, super cool. And you can see the working time we had with the resin, even in the bucket. We don't really recommend that with other resins unless you know the actual working time. Ours is formulated just for an extended working time without affecting like the durability, stuff like that. So what we'll do now is a lot of this tape is kind of falling off. It's not really bleeding because again, we taped the bottom, but I'm gonna just put stuff up there to kind of hold the tape up, right? No point in just losing all that resin. We'll push that back up, let it stay on the top, and then in about an hour, hour and a half, we'll pull the tape and let the resin coat the edges. It's gonna look really, really cool. Good job. I'm really glad you didn't do that.
I know.